I'm Shara Schwartz, and the topic this morning is feeling guilt after a loved one dies, taken from our Stephen Ministry Care Notes. Anyone who has lived any time at all has experienced the loss of a loved one. I've lost a son and a husband, my parents, other relatives and friends, and my two best friends. And I know that with any loss, we will always regret and have regret and even guilt. But with each loss we experience, we do learn. Whether you feel you did too little or too much, whether you weren't able to say goodbye or give assurance of love, whether you feel that you didn't do everything that you could have to prevent the death, all the range of thoughts and feelings. This care note is about honestly looking at the situation and coming to a place of healing, acceptance, and forgiveness. So these are some suggested steps for doing that very thing. Step 1, accept that you are normal and not alone. I remember being told that everyone grieves differently, that there's no right way or one way. But the other side of that is that there are very common ways that everyone does grieve. You're not unique in what you are going through. Everyone feels guilt or regret. We may feel that we caused or contributed to the death. That's a horrible burden to carry. Or we may simply wish that we had been more loving, nicer, more helpful, more selfless, more sensitive. Another common reaction is one of feeling relieved that the death finally occurred and then feeling guilty for feeling that way. So step 2, we need to seek support from family and friends or others who have had similar losses. Isolation is never good or healthy at such times. Step 3, think about what your loved one would say. Chances are they would say the same thing as you would say to a dear friend who is feeling regret or guilt. Step 4, forgive and pay it forward by using what we have learned. Think about how you can use the experience to comfort and reassure others who live with regret or guilt. In conclusion, I will quote from the care note. The war that we have within ourselves, the war between regrets and guilt versus understanding and forgiveness, can be curtailed. Yes, we are people who will always need forgiveness for what we do or for what we have failed to do. It now comes down to understanding, to forgiveness, to the resounding call that we be as loving as we can possibly be. In this way, we find peace. I want to add another point. Prayer and scripture can be so helpful in whatever we are experiencing. So, of course, that would include grief. God's direction, His love, His wisdom are invaluable. Lean on Him first and foremost.